You think you're in control, don't you? You think that if you plan enough, if you work hard enough, if you keep everything perfectly lined up, nothing bad will happen. But deep down, you know the truth. You are exhausted. Every part of you is tired of carrying the weight of a life that never seems to stop demanding more. You wake up with your chest tight, already thinking about what could go wrong today. You check your phone, your calendar, your email, like a soldier checking for threats. You want to believe that if you can just control everything, your future, your emotions, other people, you'll finally be safe. But let me tell you something you don't want to hear. This obsession with control is not keeping you safe. It's destroying you. It is quietly eating you alive. It is the reason your shoulders never relax, why you can't sleep at night, why you feel like a failure even when you're doing everything right. And here's the cruel irony. The more you try to control life, the less control you actually have. You've noticed this, haven't you? The more you plan, the more life finds ways to shatter your plans. The more you try to manage every detail, the more you feel out of control when the smallest thing doesn't go as expected. And every time that happens, you double down, you tighten your grip. You tell yourself you just need to be more disciplined, more focused, more in control. But it never ends. You are in a war you cannot win, because the enemy is reality itself. Montaigne saw this centuries ago, long before the modern world turned anxiety into a lifestyle. He wasn't a philosopher shouting from a pulpit, giving people more rules to follow. He was a man sitting in a library, looking at his own restless mind and asking, "What do I really know?" And the answer he came to terrified him and liberated him at the same time. Almost nothing. He realized that the need for certainty, the craving for control, is what makes life unbearable. And if you're honest, you feel that too. Most of your suffering doesn't come from what happens to you. It comes from your refusal to let what happens just happen. Think about the last time something unexpected happened to you. Maybe you lost money. Maybe someone didn't text you back. Maybe a plan fell apart. The pain you felt wasn't just about the event itself. It was about the story you told yourself. This shouldn't be happening. This is unfair. This means something about me. That is what creates the spiral. That is what creates the panic. And yet, you cling to this belief that if you just try harder, you can make the world behave. You are like someone trying to hold water in your hands, squeezing tighter and tighter, not realizing that the tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips away. And that is why you feel so trapped. You've been living like a prisoner of your own need for certainty. You think you're being responsible, that you're being disciplined, that you're building a good life. But what you're really doing is building a cage. A cage made of expectations so rigid that even you can't breathe inside them. Montaigne would tell you that the first step toward freedom is to admit this truth. You are not in control. And you never were. And I know that scares you. That sentence might make you angry. You might want to click away right now, but stay with me. Because this might be the most important moment of your life. You've been taught your whole life that being in control is good, that uncertainty is bad, that you should have everything figured out by a certain age. But what has that done for you? Has it brought you peace? Or has it turned you into someone who feels like a failure every time life doesn't match the script in your head? You don't need another productivity hack. You don't need another 5-year plan. What you need is the courage to let go, to allow yourself to feel the terror of not knowing what will happen next, to stop running from it. Because only when you stop running from uncertainty does it stop chasing you. This is what Montaigne understood. He saw that the obsession with control doesn't make life safer, it makes life smaller. It makes you brittle, fragile, easy to break. And maybe that's how you feel right now, like you are one bad day away from falling apart. That is what happens when you build your sense of safety on something as unstable as total control. The real strength is not in holding everything together. The real strength is in letting things fall apart when they need to, and trusting that you will still be here on the other side. That is terrifying, but it is also the beginning of peace. Right now, there are things in your life that you are fighting tooth and nail to control. You are terrified to let go because you think that if you do, everything will collapse. But what if letting go is the thing that will finally set you free? What if the breakdown you fear is actually the breakthrough you've been waiting for? You know this already, deep down. That is why you feel this pull inside you when you hear these words. Because some part of you is tired of fighting. Some part of you is ready to stop gripping life by the throat and just let it be what it is. And when you do that, when you stop explaining yourself, stop overthinking, stop trying to force life to make sense, you will feel something you haven't felt in a long time. Space. Space to breathe. Space to actually feel what you feel. Space to see who you are without all the masks and plans and strategies. And yes, they will be uncomfortable at first. It will feel like standing at the edge of a cliff with no safety net. But stay there, because if you can stand there long enough, something miraculous happens. You realize you are not falling, you are flying. This is the secret Montaigne was trying to give us. The secret you were never supposed to know. That your obsession with control is not protecting you from pain, it is the pain. That life was never meant to be tamed. And that the moment you let go, you don't lose yourself, you find yourself. And if you can even begin to believe that, even just for a second, your whole life can start to change. Because what's waiting for you on the other side of this obsession is not chaos. It's freedom. And freedom is what you've been craving all along. You've heard the truth now. You know that your obsession with control is costing you your peace, your freedom, maybe even your happiness. But knowing isn't enough. If you click away right now and go back to your routine, nothing will change. The grip you have on life will just tighten. The anxiety will keep building, and the spiral will continue. So let's go further. Let's go to the place where this ends. Because Montaigne didn't just point out the problem, he showed us how to live differently. And if you let me, I'm going to walk you right to that edge, the same edge he stood on, until you see what he saw. First, you need to face something you've been avoiding your whole life. You are not in control. Not a little bit, not even most of the time, you never were. Life is not a machine you can operate if you just find the right buttons. It is chaos wearing a mask of order. The people you love will do things you don't expect. The job you think is secure can disappear overnight. The health you take for granted can be gone tomorrow. And if that makes your stomach twist, good. Because this is where real freedom starts. By pretending you are safe. But by seeing how unsafe life really is and choosing to stop fighting it anyway. You might think that letting go means becoming passive, giving up, letting life walk all over you. But Montaigne would laugh at that idea. Letting go doesn't mean you stop acting. It means you stop acting from fear. It means that instead of trying to bend reality to your will, you respond to it as it is. There's a difference between gripping and guiding. One is desperate, the other is deliberate. Right now, most of your choices are coming from panic. You're working too much, not because you love your work, but because you're terrified of failing. You're obsessing over what people think of you, not because you value their opinion, but because you're scared of rejection. You are living in reaction mode, not creation mode. So here's the first step. Stop running. The next time something doesn't go according to plan, don't try to fix it immediately. Sit in it. Let the discomfort hit you. If you miss the train, sit on the bench and feel your frustration instead of reaching for your phone. If someone criticizes you, don't defend yourself right away. Let the words land, even if they sting. This is the opposite of what you've been doing, and it will feel unbearable at first. But every time you resist the urge to escape uncertainty, you train yourself to handle it. You become stronger, not because life is getting easier, but because you are no longer at war with it. Montaigne used to write essays, not to impress anyone, but to figure out what he actually thought. You can do the same. The next time your mind is spinning, instead of trying to control everything, write it down. Not for social media, not to look smart, just for you. Ask yourself the question Montaigne asked over and over. What do I know? Write until the noise in your head becomes clear. You will see that most of your fear is just stories about what might happen, about what people might think, about what failure might mean. And once you see those stories on paper, you can start to let them go. And here's the part no one tells you. When you let go of control, you will lose people. There are people in your life right now who benefit from your constant overthinking, from your constant availability, from your constant need to fix everything. When you stop doing that, they won't like it. They will call you selfish. They will tell you you've changed, and you will have changed. That's the point. If you keep explaining yourself, justifying yourself, making sure everyone is okay with your choices, you are still in the cage. Freedom means being willing to be misunderstood. It means being willing to let people be wrong about you. And if that scares you, remember this. Their opinion was never under your control anyway. There is a version of you that is calm even when life is chaotic. That doesn't mean you become numb. It means you become grounded. You stop living as if the ground is always shifting beneath your feet. You realize that you are the ground. You are the constant. The world will keep spinning. Plans will keep breaking. People will keep surprising you, but you will stay steady. That is what Montaigne found in his library. That is what you can find right now, sitting wherever you are. If you're willing to stop fighting the tide, look back at your life. How much time have you wasted trying to control things you couldn't? How many hours have you spent replaying conversations, worrying about the future, wishing the past were different? None of that changed anything. But it did change you. It made you more anxious, more rigid, more afraid. So here is your moment to decide. Do you want to keep living like that? Or do you want to try something radical? Do you want to see what happens when you stop gripping so hard? You are standing at the edge of a cliff right now. One option is to back away, go back to the familiar, keep living the way you always have. The other option is to jump, not into chaos, but into trust. Into the possibility that life can hold you even when you're not holding it together. And yes, that leap is terrifying. But the truth is, you've been falling your whole life. The only difference now is that you get to notice the wind on your face. You get to feel it. You get to stop screaming and start listening. When you finally do this, when you finally let go, you will see something extraordinary. The world doesn't end. You don't fall apart. In fact, you start to see beauty where before you only saw danger. You start to notice moments you were too busy worrying to enjoy. You start to make decisions not out of fear, but out of clarity. You become dangerous in the best way, because nothing can control you anymore. Not other people's approval, not your own fear, not the future. And that is what makes life worth living. So let this be the day you stop explaining yourself. The day you stop fighting reality. The day you stop trying to control everything and start living. Montaigne wrote his essays because he wanted to understand what it meant to be fully alive. And if he were here right now, he would tell you the same thing I'm about to tell you. You don't have forever. Your time is running out. And the tragedy would not be that life surprised you, it would be that you spent your whole life trying to avoid being surprised. Let go. Right now. Not tomorrow, not when it's convenient. Right now. Feel the fear and step into it. You will be terrified for a while. Then you will be free.